Babes, it's Thursday evening. The iced coffees are back. And babes, can we talk about this finale?
Oh my God, I am so ready.
Like, I am still genuinely trying to regulate my central nervous system. We have Bex taking an actual, literal bullet to the shoulder, but somehow fighting through it like an absolute apex predator.
Right, completely feral.
And we have killer snakes launching out of a safe, like some kind of terrifying circus trick. And on top of that, the horrifying reality that this episode was anchored in a real, actual, unsolved true story.
Welcome back, babes. We are so glad to have you. And babes, honestly, we are excited to start this spiral early.
I mean, I am already on my third venti iced coffee of the day, and that is strictly because the level of absolute dilution in this finale requires, like, massive, borderline, dangerous amounts of caffeine to process.
Literally dangerous.
The chaos wasn't just present, it was weaponized. My nervous system is completely fried. We are going to need to dissect every single messy second of this, because I have notes, I have theories, and I have an extensive list of judgments that I need to get on the record. And speaking of judgment, babes, we have been asking you all to send us stories from your lives, and honestly, you all have been coming through.
Honestly, it's impressive.
It is time for the weekend mailbag. You have been sending us the most chaotic, wild, deeply dramatic moments of your personal lives, and we are living for it. Because what is better than analyzing fictional trauma?
Analyzing your real-life trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get right into it because it's the first one. I physically gasped in my kitchen.
It's truly spectacular how messy the Snark squad is. Let's hear it.
Okay, story one. This listener says, my mother-in-law has secretly been trying to orchestrate my husband's entire career and our life. I found out she's been paying off his boss to keep him at his current branch so we don't move out of state, and she literally bought the house next door under an LLC so she can watch us.
Wait, stop, an LLC?
Yes. Bestie, I am screaming. This is giving ultimate, toxic, unadulterated boy mom energy. This is literally Colonel Lazarus operating in the suburbs.
That is not a mother-in-law. That is an intelligence agency operating on domestic soil.
Right.
What we are looking at here is terminal boy mom syndrome, but elevated to like a tactical level. She is running a covert black site operation on your marriage.
Seriously.
To establish a shell corporation just to maintain a visual on your driveway, that requires a level of compartmentalization and sociopathy that you usually only see in cartel leadership.
I don't even think it's cartel leadership because a cartel operates for profit. This is pure, unadulterated territorial control. She's acting like a rogue state.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
And the fact that she's paying off the boss, like she has compromised his entire professional ecosystem. It's exactly like Lazarus manipulating the environment around Shane.
Completely.
She's creating this weird sociological terrarium where your husband thinks he's making his own choices, but she controls the temperature, the resources, and the borders.
A sociological terrarium is exactly what it is. You need to pack your bags in the dead of night, change your social security numbers, and move to a jurisdiction that doesn't have an extradition treaty with her LLC.
Seriously, cut ties immediately.
Serve her with a restraining order wrapped in a nice little bow.
I mean, you cannot fight someone who has the time and resources to establish an LLC just to watch you take out your recycling. Let her have the empty house.
Let her watch an empty driveway.
Okay, moving on to story two. I just found out my coworker, who I thought was my work bestie, completely threw me under the bus to get a promotion.
Ah, classic.
She took credit for a massive project I did, told our boss I was struggling with my mental health so I couldn't handle the new role, and then she got the promotion. She still asked me to get coffee with her.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. The betrayer. This is the messy Morales and Peck dynamic, but weaponized in a corporate marketing department.
The sheer audacity to steal your promotion, weaponize your mental health, and then ask you to get a matcha latte.
I would throw the latte at her.
You are dealing with a corporate sociopath, and honestly, I think comparing this to Morales and Peck is giving your coworker too much credit. Yeah, because at least Peck knows he's a criminal. He owns his villainy. Your coworker is masquerading as an ally. She is using the language of friendship to lower your defenses while systematically dismantling your career.
Oh, that is so dark. It's the Stanford prison experiment, but with Excel spreadsheets.
Exactly.
Like, put people in a corporate environment with scarce resources, and they will immediately resort to psychological warfare.
Yeah.
But how do you even handle that? You can't just flip her desk over, even though that is literally the only emotionally satisfying response.
Well, you don't flip the desk. You dismantle the foundation the desk sits on.
Ooh, okay. Sun Tzu, tell us.
Document everything, every email, every timestamp, every original file you created. Build your own evidence wall.
Yes. Get the red string.
Take it to HR, but frame it not as a personal grievance, but as a liability to the company's operational integrity. Show them she falsified project origins, and then completely ice her out.
Oh, I love that.
Let her drown in the responsibilities she stole from you because she clearly lacks the competence to execute them.
Yes. Let her fail under the weight of her own stolen ambition. That is brilliant. Okay, story 3. This one is, a lot.
Bring it on.
I recently found out my partner of 2 years has a secret second life. Not another family, but a secret apartment where he breeds and is obsessed with exotic reptiles.
Wait, what?
I know. He told me he's going to networking events, but he was actually going to underground reptile conventions.
I'm sorry, underground reptile conventions. How do those even stay underground? Do you need a password at the door of the Marriott conference room?
I can't even fathom the logistics. A secret reptile apartment. Think about the heat lamps alone. The electricity bill?
The smell.
Oh my God, the smell. How do you even respond to finding out your partner is running a clandestine terrarium across town?
You respond by running. You run fast and you run far.
Literally.
The issue here isn't the reptiles themselves, though. I mean, that is deeply concerning. The issue is the compartmentalization.
Yeah, the lying.
Right. If an individual has the psychological capacity to maintain a secondary residence, fund it, hide it, and lie to your face for 2 solid years about networking events, their baseline reality is deception.
It's so true.
This is the origin story of a supervillain. He's basically Xander Wax. You need to break up with him over text and never ever go back to that apartment.
I'm sweating just thinking about finding a secret apartment full of snakes. It's like opening a door and finding a physical manifestation of all your trust issues.
That is a terrifying metaphor.
Right. Which actually brings us perfectly to our next segment. Okay, babes, it's time for the Bad Advice Hotline.
My favorite time of the week.
You send us your very real, very serious problems, and we give you the absolute worst possible advice. Because why make a rational decision when a catastrophic one makes for a much better story?
Precisely. We are here to encourage the absolute worst impulses of the human spirit.
Exactly. Problem 1. I have a massive crush on my coworker. The chemistry is insane. But he has a very dark, complicated family history involving some criminal elements. Do I pursue it?
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is so Bex and Shane coded.
Oh.
The slow burn of forbidden romance.
My advice, lean entirely into the toxicity.
Do it.
If his family has a dark criminal history, that just means Thanksgiving is going to be far more interesting than arguing about politics.
Oh my God, so true.
You should start investigating his parents immediately. Run background checks. Find a way to hack their Wi-Fi. Maybe plant a listening device in a floral arrangement and send it to their living room.
Become your own private investigator.
Exactly. You need to know exactly what tier of crime family you're marrying into. Are we talking white-collar embezzlement or organized racketeering? Don't walk away. Dive headfirst into the danger. It builds character.
Frame one of his cousins just to see how the family disposes of the evidence. Test their loyalty.
There you go. Field testing.
I am crying. Do not actually do that. Okay, problem 2. My best friend keeps lying to me about small things, like what she had for lunch or if she watched a movie yet. It's so weird and I don't know how to confront her.
Okay, that is weird.
Oh, this is easy. You need to invite her over, trap her in a room, and run a full psychological interrogation. Do not let her leave until she breaks down and confesses about the turkey sandwich.
No, an interrogation gives her something to push back against. You need to engage in subtle psychological warfare.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Start altering her environment. If she says she had a salad for lunch, casually leave an empty fast food wrapper in her car.
Gaslight her.
Gaslight her about her own timeline. Make her think she is losing her grip on reality until she voluntarily admits that she lies to maintain a false sense of control over mundane details.
A completely measured and reasonable response to a white lie.
Completely proportional.
Problem 3. My boss just got fired for embezzling, and the company is a total mess. HR just offered me their job. Should I take it, or is the ship sinking? Oh, you absolutely take the job.
Without hesitation. You take the job, you demand a massive signing bonus, and then you immediately start siphoning whatever resources are left.
Yes, loot the ship.
Download the entire client list to an encrypted private server. Steal the intellectual property. You become the captain of the sinking ship just long enough to pry the copper wiring out of the walls and steal all the lifeboats.
Demand a golden parachute clause in your new contract. Intentionally crash the rest of the department and trigger the payout.
It's just good business.
And remember, babes, If you take our advice, no, you didn't. We are completely unqualified, unfiltered, and honestly, deeply unhinged.
Seriously, the fact that anyone trusts us to analyze anything is a testament to the chaotic state of the world right now.
It's alarming.
Our lives are a complete disaster. I am currently running on nothing but iced Americanos and the sheer delusion that I am a master tactician.
Literally. My entire life is just a pile of laundry I refuse to fold and 57 unread text messages that I am too anxious to open because responding feels like a monumental emotional labor.
The text message guilt is real.
Giving terrible advice about other people's lives is so much easier than making a single good decision in my own. We are essentially just projecting our own need for drama onto the Snark squad to avoid dealing with our own realities.
It's significantly cheaper than therapy and vastly more entertaining for everyone involved.
It really is. Okay, but before we dive into this massive, iced, coffee-fueled spiral of a recap, one fun little horrifying detail before we get into the finale.
Oh, here we go.
Apparently this episode was inspired by a real murder.
Yes. The 1982 Chicago Tylenol murders, which is one of the most fascinating and terrifying unsolved cases in American history.
It's just so messed up.
It really is, precisely because it permanently altered the sociological landscape of public trust.
It is so profoundly scary. For anyone who doesn't know the deep lore on this, back in 1982 in the Chicago area, someone went around to different drugstores and grocery stores, took bottles of extra-strength Tylenol off the shelves, opened the capsules, laced them with highly lethal potassium cyanide, and just, put them back on the shelves for anyone to buy.
Just absolute indiscriminate malice.
7 people died. Completely random people. A 12-year-old girl who just had a cold, postal workers, young parents, they just had a headache, took a pill, and died. And the absolute scariest part, the killer was never, ever caught.
Never.
The Arlington Heights police still have the case open 4 decades later.
We need to understand the mechanism of why this was so terrifying, both biologically and psychologically.
Please explain the science.
Biologically, potassium cyanide is horrific. It fundamentally blocks cellular respiration. It binds to the iron in the cytochrome oxidase enzyme in your mitochondria.
Okay, Mr. Bill Nye, what does that actually mean for the victim?
In plain terms, it stops your cells from being able to use oxygen. You can be breathing heavily, but your cells are suffocating. It is a rapid, catastrophic system failure.
That is genuinely my worst nightmare.
But psychologically, the terror of that case wasn't just the poison. It was the total destruction of the illusion of safety.
That's exactly it. The illusion of safety. We go into a store, we buy a sealed product, and we assume there is a social contract that says, this will not kill me.
Right, and this killer shattered that high-trust society.
Completely.
Most murders are targeted. There is a reason, a motive, a relationship between victim and killer. Even serial killers usually have a specific typology they hunt. But this was the ultimate example of random risk.
It could have been anyone.
The killer just set a trap in the public commons and waited to see who would fall into it. There was no pattern to the victims, which meant everyone was a potential victim.
Everyone.
And that is exactly what the writers tapped into for this episode with Xander Wax. TV writers love adapting these real, unsolved horrors because it grounds the fictional killer in a reality we all subconsciously understand. We all know the friction of opening a tamper-proof bottle now.
It makes me sick to my stomach every time I open a bottle of Advil now and have to fight through the plastic wrap, the foil seal, and the cotton ball. I am going to think about this.
That cotton ball is doing a lot of psychological lifting.
Modern packaging literally only exists because of this one absolute psychopath. Random chaos is the scariest thing in the world to me. If someone wants to kill me specifically, at least I can try to figure out why or outsmart them. But if I just touch the wrong sugar packet, there's no defense against that.
Right. So is reality scarier than fiction? In this case, unequivocally, yes.
Oh, 100%.
Because in fiction, Bex and Shane can use forensic science and profiling to catch the guy. The narrative arc demands resolution. In reality, the Tylenol killer just vanished into the ether.
Chills. Actual chills.
Taking that deeply unsettling true story and applying it to a brilliant biochemist using exotic animal venom is a genius way to make Xander Wax feel genuinely terrifying. He isn't just a TV villain, he is the manifestation of our vulnerability in public spaces.
Okay, I need to shake off the true crime chills because we have so much fictional trauma to get through. Grab your drinks, babes, because we are diving into the recap. Let's start with the man who brought the random chaos to life. The toxic avenger. Enter Xander Wax.
Played brilliantly by John Corbett, which is just, it's a deeply unsettling choice.
Seeing Aiden from Sex and the City, The guy who made furniture and loved dogs playing a sadistic, venom-wielding serial killer is a level of cognitive dissonance I was not prepared for.
It really messes with your head.
But let's break down his MO, because it is wild. He is a biochemist, a graduate of the pit, and he uses lethal animal venom. We are talking frogs, scorpions, snakes. But it's how he uses it that makes him so terrifying.
Exactly. He's mirroring the exact pathology of the Tylenol killer. He isn't tracking specific victims initially. He's taking neurotoxins and leaving them on random public objects.
It's just everywhere.
Let's look at the science of what he's doing. He's extracting a trachotoxin from poison dirt frogs. Now, how does that actually work? It permanently forces the sodium channels in nerve cells to stay open.
Which means
Your nerves can't reset, which leads to irreversible depolarization. It causes immediate, massive paralysis and cardiac arrest. And he's leaving this weaponized biology on elevator buttons, sugar packets in a diner, soda bottles. It is entirely about the thrill of random chance.
But wait, let me push back on this. Is he actually smart, or is he just utilizing cowardice?
No, you mean.
Because setting a trap on a condom wrapper or walking away doesn't require the tactical brilliance of outsmarting someone in real time. It just requires a complete lack of empathy and a basic understanding of chemistry.
That's a valid distinction, but I would argue that his intelligence lies in his understanding of power dynamics.
Okay, break that down.
He completely removes his own moral culpability by blaming chance and nature. His philosophy that humans and animals have an equal right to the planet, and he's just letting nature take its course, is a fascinating psychological delusion.
It's completely deranged.
He views himself not as a murderer, but as an agent of natural selection. The waiting game, the knowing that he has introduced a lethal variable into the environment, is his true pathology. It's a God complex cloaked in environmentalism.
I was screaming at my television. Who puts venom on a condom wrapper? The sheer diabolical evil of that.
It's incredibly intimate sabotage.
The roommate just doing his thing, opening a drawer, and suddenly he is paralyzed by exotic frog poison. And then the scorpions. The scorpions in Daphne's car.
That was a lot.
When they started crawling out of the air vents, I physically threw my throw pillow across the room. I have a visceral reaction to things crawling where they shouldn't.
It's an evolutionary response. You're fine.
And the snake in the safe.
Yeah.
Bill Reese opens his safe to get his documents, and a snake just launches at his face.
The snake in the safe is an incredible tactical move. A safe is designed to keep external threats out, but Wax turned it into a containment unit for an internal threat.
That's so true.
It completely subverts the concept of security. But here's the crucial detail we have to analyze. Post-Pit, his kills changed. They were no longer random.
Yes, which means he wasn't just acting on his own delusions anymore. Someone was pulling his strings.
Exactly.
Suddenly, Xander isn't just killing randoms in elevators. He is specifically targeting investigative journalists. Daphne and Bill Reese were both journalists, and they were looking into the Pit and Philip Beaumont.
The head of the Institute for Human Consciousness, because of course it's a shadowy think tank.
It always is.
It is a procedural law of physics. If there is a think tank with a vague, benevolent-sounding name, it is absolutely funding a black site.
Always. If you hear the words Institute for Human Anything, you know they are doing illegal experiments in a basement.
100%.
In Daphne's house, babes, the evidence wall in her house was a work of chaotic art. There was red string everywhere. And why do we love an evidence wall so much?
Because we are nosy.
It's our brain's desperate attempt at pattern recognition in a chaotic universe. And all that string led back to Beaumont's book, Deviations from the Normal, which we literally saw Lazarus reading in her apartment episodes ago. The breadcrumbs were there the whole time.
They really were, and it was brilliant foreshadowing. But the twist here is what's so compelling. Beaumont wasn't the one sending Xander Wax to silence the journalists.
Right.
Beaumont actually blew the whistle on himself.
That blew my mind. He realized the monster he created had gotten off the leash.
Exactly. He saw how inhumane Lazarus's experiments had become at the Pit. He realized that this think tank had evolved from a theoretical research facility into an active weaponization program, and he was trying to leak the information to shut it down.
But Lazarus caught wind of it.
She intercepted his leak and deployed Xander Wax, her newly minted, obedient little pet serial killer, to assassinate the journalists and cover her tracks.
The ultimate toxic boss move. Deploying a biochemist assassin to protect your illegal human experimentation program.
HR is going to have a field day with that.
It is wild. I am spiraling over how deep this conspiracy goes. You can never, ever trust a think tank, and you can never trust a mentor figure like Lazarus. She presents herself as this maternal, guiding force, but she is utterly ruthless.
Lazarus is operating on a level of narcissism that is almost impressive. She genuinely believes she is the savior of these people. She thinks she has cured the incurable.
But she just made them worse.
But her arrogance is her downfall. She thinks she can control chaos, and that arrogance leads us directly into the trap at the black site.
Okay, my heart rate during this entire sequence was at a solid 140. Bucks, Shane, and Hassani finally corner Wax, and they decide they can't trust anyone at the FBI.
Which is a very fair assessment.
So they decide to hand him over to A.G. Mallory. They think they have a foolproof plan. They walk into this abandoned warehouse expecting Mallory to be there to make the arrest, take custody of Wax, and finally take Lazarus down.
But Lazarus is always 3 steps ahead. The warehouse isn't a rendezvous point, it's a kill box.
The tension.
They walk into a trap. And Lazarus doesn't just capture them, she cleans house. She shoots A.G. Mallory point blank, a sitting attorney general.
I was sobbing. Mallory. I actually kind of liked her. She was a tough cookie. She was the only bureaucrat who seemed to actually care about the truth.
Her death was necessary for Lazarus to assert total dominance over the situation. And then Lazarus turns and kills Xander Wax because he's outlived his usefulness.
Just tossed him aside.
He was a tool, and once a tool has drawn too much attention, you discard it. And then she locks Bex and Hassani in holding cells in this hidden subterranean black site.
Being locked in those cells, seeing those old faces, babes, all of my Season 1 trauma came rushing back in a tidal wave.
It was a very dark family reunion.
Amanda Weiss just staring out from her cell with those dead eyes. Dr. Malak. Just seeing them sitting there in this secret prison within a secret prison, it was chilling. It completely recontextualized everything we thought we knew about where these people went after they were caught.
Lazarus's exit strategy was finally exposed here. We have to look at the logistics of this. She knew the walls were closing in, the DOJ was sniffing around, so she couldn't just keep them in holding.
So what was she going to do?
She was planning to sell her prized graduates, these fully conditioned, undetectable serial killers, to a foreign government as untrackable assassins.
That is so dark.
It's human trafficking meets biological warfare. It's the ultimate privatization of violence. But the most important moment in those cells wasn't Lazarus's grand plan. It was the psychological warfare initiated by Dr. Malak.
Oh my God, the Hassani twist. I forgot how to breathe during that scene.
Dr. Malak is a master manipulator. He starts taunting Hassani through the glass. And he doesn't just throw general insults. He drops highly specific, granular details about Hassani's dead wife.
I couldn't believe it.
He heavily implies that her death wasn't just a random casualty or a tragic accident. He implies she was deeply connected to the conspiracy, to Beaumont, and to the pit itself.
I felt so physically sick for him. The look on Patrick Simongui's face in that scene, just pure shattered devastation.
It was phenomenal acting.
You build your entire life, your entire career, around avenging the random death of your wife, only to find out she might have been part of the very shadow organization you were fighting. It recontextualizes his entire motivation for the last 2 seasons. Was she a victim or was she an operative?
It completely destabilizes his reality. It's a brilliant narrative move because it ensures that even if they dismantle the pit, the emotional fallout will continue. But they have no time to process this trauma because the physical threat is immediate. We have to pivot back to the surface.
Yes. While the team is trapped underground, Morales is back at her apartment, running interference with Ben Jones, and who is tied up in her apartment.
Absolutely.
Our favorite morally ambiguous hacker.
Morales is arguably the MVP of this episode.
Absolutely.
She is a rule-following, straight-laced agent. Her entire identity is built on procedure and protocol. But when her chosen family is in danger, she goes full rogue.
He throws the rule book out the window.
Why do rule followers break rules hardest when they finally snap? Because they don't do it impulsively. They do it with calculated precision. She makes a literal deal with the devil.
She tells Peck that if he hacks the black site servers, bypasses the firewall, and opens the cell doors, she will give him a 1-hour head start to escape before she calls it in.
It's a brilliant tactical gamble, but from a legal and ethical standpoint, it is a catastrophic nightmare.
Oh, completely illegal.
I have to wonder, is Morales going to end up in federal prison in Season 3 for aiding and abetting a fugitive? She literally let a known, highly dangerous cybercriminal walk out her front door. She bypassed the justice system to save her friends.
She did what had to be done. The bureaucracy was failing them, And her hack works. Peck breaches the mainframe, the doors slide open, and absolute unfiltered chaos reigns. The cell block brawl.
It was incredible to watch.
It was cinematic. It was giving WWE Royal Rumble, but with actual sociopaths. The alarms are blaring, the red emergency lights are flashing, strobing across the concrete, and suddenly Bex is in a literal, physical, hand-to-hand street fight with Amanda Weiss.
The choreography of that fight was incredible because it wasn't stylized or graceful. It was desperate.
It was so gritty.
They were fighting for their lives in confined space combat. Amanda Weiss was running on pure, unadulterated rage at being lied to by Lazarus, and she directed all of that kinetic energy at Bex.
But my absolute favorite part of that entire sequence, the one random inmate who didn't join the riot.
Oh, the guy in the corner.
He just sat in his cell, leaning casually against the bars, watching the entire bloodbath unfold like he was binge-watching reality TV on a Sunday afternoon.
That was a brilliant directorial choice. It highlights the psychology of passive observation in violent environments. Some predators don't join the frenzy. They wait to see who survives before they make their move. He was the audience surrogate in that moment.
He was literally us, just eating metaphorical popcorn while everyone destroys each other. I felt so seen by that unnamed serial killer.
Relatable.
But the distraction of the riot works. The system is overwhelmed, which brings us to the emotional and thematic climax of the episode, the nature versus nurture showdown.
Right. While Bex and Hassani are fighting for their lives in the cell block, Lazarus has separated Shane. She has pulled him into the control room.
Which is just so creepy.
She is still operating under this deeply psychotic, unwavering delusion that she and Shane are going to build a loving mother-son bond. She views him as her ultimate success story, the crowning achievement of her behavioral conditioning program.
And she casually admits that she was the one who blew up the pit in season 1.
Just drop that bomb, literally.
She detonated the bomb. She killed all those people, destroyed the facility, almost killed her own team just to protect her legacy and keep her experiments going in secret. She is a monster. She justifies mass murder as administrative overhead.
But here is where the psychological profiling gets truly fascinating. The history of behavioral genetics has always been obsessed with finding a biological imperative for violence, the so-called murder gene, like the MAOA gene variants.
Okay, getting scientific again.
Lazarus believes in biological determinism. She believes Shane's DNA dictates his destiny. When Shane finally gets the drop on her and has his gun leveled at his own mother's chest, Lazarus leans into this.
She begs him to pull the trigger. She is absolutely terrified of going back into a box, of losing her freedom and her control. She tells him it's in his blood, urging him to give in to his killer instinct. She wants him to validate her life's work by murdering her.
It's a twisted form of maternal sacrifice. But Shane defies her. He proves that his DNA does not define him.
I was so proud of him.
He's not just a collection of genetic predispositions and conditioned responses. He has free will. He aims up and fires into the air, effectively shattering her theory of biological determinism.
The relief I felt when he fired into the ceiling. I was screaming at the screen, "Don't do it, Shane, don't let her win." And he doesn't. But Lazarus, being the opportunistic sociopath she is, uses the sound of the gunshot and the momentary shock to make a move.
She never stops fighting.
She grabs a secondary weapon and she shoots Bex right in the shoulder.
A center mass shot would have ended the series, so the shoulder shot is a necessary narrative contrivance, but it is effective. Bex goes down hard, and Lazarus stands over her, preparing to deliver the kill shot.
But Bex, our girl Bex, is the ultimate final girl. She doesn't panic. She uses her own squirming, pretending to be in agonizing, incapacitating pain as a distraction. She draws Lazarus in close, reaches up, and takes her down. It was such a brilliant tactical use of vulnerability.
It's poetic justice, and it's narratively essential. Bex taking the shot and subduing Lazarus spares Shane the psychological trauma of having to murder his own mother.
Exactly, it protects him.
It maintains Shane's innocence, relatively speaking, given his history, while allowing Bex to fulfill her role as the protector. It was the only satisfying way that confrontation could resolve without destroying Shane's character arc.
Bex Henderson is an icon, a tactical legend. I want to be her when I grow up. But just when we think we can breathe, when we think the dust has settled and the bad guys are in cuffs, we get hit with the final act, the new boss and the dystopian twist.
Lazarus is down. The black site is secured by backup forces, and order is temporarily restored. In the aftermath, Bex is officially promoted.
Well deserved.
She is now the head of the task force, working directly under Philip Beaumont with one massive overarching mission: hunt down the remaining roaming graduates that Lazarus released.
Which sounds like a standard procedural wrap-up, like, here is your mission for next season, catch the bad guys, until Beaumont drops the absolute mother of all bombshells in that debriefing room.
The big reveal.
The pit wasn't just a prison treating captured serial killers. It wasn't just a clandestine rehab facility trying to cure violent urges.
They were creating them.
I lost my mind. I paced my living room for 10 minutes. The government was intentionally conditioning innocent people, messing with their brain maps, to manufacture sociopathic super soldiers. It is full dystopian nightmare fuel.
It's a terrifying concept, but it has roots in real-world history. If we look back at the CIA's M-Culture program in the 1950s and 60s, specifically the experiments by Dr. Ewan Cameron involving depatterning and psychic driving.
Wait, that was real?
Oh, absolutely real. They literally tried to wipe people's memories with electroshock and drugs, and then rewrite their personalities by playing looped audio messages for weeks on end.
That is horrifying.
The idea of a government agency attempting to map the brain and surgically or chemically alter empathy centers to create the perfect, remorseless operative. It is the dark underbelly of behavioral science.
It completely reframes everything we've watched for 2 entire seasons. Every killer they've caught, every agonizing interrogation, every life lost. These killers might not have been natural-born monsters. They might have been ordinary people who were victims of a state-sponsored psychological conditioning program.
The implications are staggering. It shifts the entire moral axis of the show. It means Bex isn't just hunting criminals. She's hunting the victims of her own government's illegal weapons program.
It makes you question everything.
She is essentially cleaning up the collateral damage of a shadow state. How does she reconcile arresting someone for a murder they were quite literally programmed to commit? Where does culpability lie? With the weapon or with the hand that forged it?
It changes absolutely everything. I need answers immediately. Which brings us perfectly into our post-recap discussion. Do we want Season 3? And I think I speak for both of us and the entire Snark squad when I give a loud, synchronized
yes. The foundation they have laid for a 3rd season is incredibly strong. We need to explore the ramifications of this super soldier program. We need to see Beaumont answering for his role in this, even if he did blow the whistle.
Okay, we have to talk about the conspiracy theories because Reddit is already spiraling, the forums are on fire, and I am fully on board with the wildest ones. Have you seen the breeding program theory?
I have read extensively on it, and I have to say it is both morally repulsive and highly plausible within the show's established universe. The theory suggests that Dr. Doles wasn't just conditioning adults, he was running a multi-generational breeding program at the pit.
Yes. The theory is that Shane's biological father isn't some random guy, but actually another high-profile inmate from the pit.
Yeah.
And that they were actively breeding these highly lethal serial killers together to test behavioral genetics.
It's so dark.
They wanted to see if empathy could cure the offspring, or if they could stack the genetic deck to create the ultimate untraceable apex predator. It is a level of eugenics and delusion that has me completely shaken.
It makes terrifying sense. It explains why Lazarus was so obsessed with Shane from behind that one-way glass in the old Season 1 videotapes. She wasn't just observing a patient. She was studying the maternal bond of a psychopath in a controlled environment.
And if a government greenlit this
breeding program, it means there could be dozens of other Shanes out there in the world. Sleeper agents who don't even know their true lineage, waiting for a trigger phrase.
I will not be able to sleep until I know who Shane's dad is. Is it someone we've already met? We need Season 3. Also, who is coming back? Because we need Ben Jones back in that command center with Morales.
Yeah.
Their dynamic is the only pure thing left in this universe.
You're a good team.
And TV rule number 1. If there is no body bag and no funeral, they aren't dead. Do we really think Lazarus didn't survive that gunshot?
I highly doubt Lazarus is dead. Statistically speaking, in television writing, villains of her caliber are far too valuable as a source of exposition and future conflict to simply discard.
Oh, she's definitely coming back.
She'll be in a medically induced coma in a highly secure, off-the-books facility waiting to be interrogated. She's the Hannibal Lecter of this universe now.
Okay, but we have to talk about the romance, the slow burn, because my heart fluttered. The finale moment at the bar. Shane pulling her chair out for her.
I mean, it was polite.
Opening the car door for her even after she had been shot, bleeding through her jacket, and they were in the middle of an existential crisis.
He is aggressively polite. It's almost pathological how good his manners are.
He is the ultimate bad boy with a heart of gold trope. He literally murdered someone in his past. He might be the product of a genetic super soldier breeding program, but he has impeccable table manners. I swoon. I am fully, unapologetically shipping Shane and Vex.
Look, the romance is a nice subplot to relieve the tension, but let's stay focused on the tactical realities. They need to catch the loose assassins first.
You hate love.
Flirting is great, but it's remarkably hard to build a stable foundation for a relationship when a rogue biochemist might poison your matching lattes while you're on a date. Survival first, romance second.
You are so cynical. Let them have a moment of joy before the government tries to erase their memories. But fine, moving on to the broader picture. What do the writers absolutely better not do in Season 3?
Number 1, do not leave Hassani's wife's storyline unresolved. You cannot drop a massive psychological bomb that his dead wife was part of the conspiracy, fundamentally altering his reality, and then not pay it off with hard evidence. Number 2, do not put Morales in a jail cell.
If they touch Morales, I swear.
Yes, she broke federal law, but she did it to save the core team. Have Beaumont sweep it under the rug in exchange for her silence on the super soldier program.
If Morales goes to jail, we riot. We march on NBC headquarters. Okay, babes, let's get into our segments. Segment 1. Who would survive? If this absolute nightmare scenario happened in real life, ranking which characters would realistically survive this level of chaos?
I'll start. I'm ranking Xander Wax incredibly high.
Really?
Strictly from a survival standpoint, his methodology makes him a ghost. He doesn't engage in physical combat. He leaves a microscopic drop of poison on a sugar packet and walks away. You can't profile random chance, and you can't fight someone who was never in the room when the weapon goes off. He would survive purely by being untrackable.
Okay, valid point on the coward survival strategy, but I am ranking Bex at number 1. Because she literally fights through bullet wounds. She gets shot in the shoulder, doesn't go into shock, plays possum to lower her enemy's guard, and then takes down a military-trained mastermind with a physical takedown. Bex has the situational awareness and the pain tolerance of a survivor.
I can respect that, but I'm ranking Shane dead last.
What? Why? He has combat training.
Because he's too much of a gentleman, his polite conditioning is a massive vulnerability. He would literally hold the door open for a murderer. He'd be like, "After you, sir," and get stabbed in the chest. His manners are a survival liability in a high-threat environment.
Oh my God, you are so right. He would apologize for bleeding on the carpet while he was dying. He needs to unlearn the chivalry if he wants to make it to Season 4. Okay, Segment 2. Most Suspicious Person Award. Who radiated the most chaos all season? We need to hand out the hardware.
The main award obviously goes to Lazarus. She is the gravitational center around which all this toxic chaos orbits, but she's almost too obvious.
True, she is the architect of the chaos. But I am giving a messy runner-up award to Philip Beaumont. Because I don't care if you eventually blow the whistle on yourself. Anyone running an Institute for Human Consciousness is hiding bodies in the basement.
That's just a fact.
You don't get funding for a think tank named like that without promising the military a weaponized psychological profile. Even if he felt guilty, he is still incredibly sketchy and culpable.
Agreed. And I have to give a runner-up award to A.G. Mallory, purely for walking blindly into an abandoned warehouse trap without a tactical unit. You are the Attorney General of the United States. Bring a SWAT team.
She thought she was invincible.
Bring drone surveillance. Her complete lack of situational awareness and protocol was deeply suspicious.
Rest in peace, Mallory, but you made terrible choices. You thought your badge was a bulletproof vest. Segment 3. Could we solve the case? If we were the investigators dropped into this universe, how would we actually perform?
I would have solved it in episode 2.
You are so deeply delusional.
I'm serious. I wouldn't have run around chasing ghosts. I would have simply walked into Daphne's house, read the evidence board, taken a high-resolution photo of it with my phone, uploaded it to a secure server, and arrested Beaumont based on the financial trail she clearly already mapped out in Redstring. It was all right there.
Sure. Okay.
However, I admit I would probably get extremely distracted by the endless taxpayer-funded supply of iced coffee in the command center and forget to file the actual arrest warrants.
At least you admit your flaws. I am honest enough to admit I would be a complete and utter liability in the field. The absolute millisecond, a scorpion crawled out of the air vents in that car, I would hand it in my badge, my gun, and quit the force.
You wouldn't even investigate.
I wouldn't even fill out the HR exit interview. I would move to an off-grid farm in Vermont and never look at a screen again.
Yeah.
I cannot handle the reptiles. I would be useless.
You would be actively detrimental to the investigation. Which brings us to our final segment, Segment 4, FBI or Jail. Let's debate who ends up where when the dust settles on this conspiracy.
Okay, let's start with Morales. FBI or jail. She belongs in the FBI. She is the glue holding that entire investigative team together. But legally, I am terrified she might actually end up in jail for freeing Peck. The DOJ does not look kindly on agents who let cyber terrorists walk out their front door.
Legally, she should absolutely be in a federal penitentiary, but practically, Beaumont needs her. She knows too much about the super soldier program. She'll stay in the FBI, but they'll hold her treason over her head to ensure her compliance. She'll be a captive agent.
I hate that for her.
What about Peck?
Oh, Peck is definitely jail. He belongs in a cell with no Wi-Fi. But he's got that hour head start. And he is a ghost in the machine. So maybe he's on a beach in a non-extradition country sipping a mojito.
He's probably hacking a casino mainframe in Macau as we speak, fully funded and living his best life. And Lazarus.
Jail. But not just any jail. The deepest, darkest, dampest black site cell imaginable. Put her in the very cages she built. Toss the key into the Mariana Trench.
Agreed. Let her rot in the sociological terrarium she designed for others. Well, I think that thoroughly covers the evidence board for this season.
It really does. My brain is buzzing, my heart is still racing, and I think I need to go double-check all the locks on my doors and inspect my air vents for scorpions. Babes, we want to genuinely, from the bottom of our iced coffee-filled hearts, thank the Snark Squad for hanging out and spiraling with us all season long.
We truly loved spiraling with you every single week. Your messages, your deeply insightful comments, and your brilliantly unhinged Reddit theories made analyzing this season infinitely more fun. It takes a village to dissect this level of televised trauma.
Please keep sending in your messy stories, your workplace betrayals, and your dating confessions for the weekend mailbag and the bad advice hotline. We live for your drama. It sustains us between seasons.
And do not forget to engage with the algorithm. Like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to us on. It ensures we get to keep doing this.
Yes. And share this spiral with your most chaotic friend, the friend who loves a good true crime deep dive, understands the psychology of a bad decision, and appreciates a villain with a good wardrobe.
So, we leave you with a few questions to ponder in the long, dark off-season. Do you want Season 3? Because the ratings are on the bubble and we need the network executives to know we are financially and emotionally invested.
And what are your wildest finale theories? Do you believe the breeding program theory? Who is Shane's biological dad? We need to know what you think. And keep giving us stories for our bad advice hotline.
Most importantly, think about the ethical implications of a government manufacturing killers. Are those individuals fully culpable for their actions, or are they victims of a state apparatus? Where does free will end and conditioning begin? It's something heavy to mull over while you lock your doors and check your Advil bottles tonight.
Stay suspicious, stay messy, and we will see you on the Snark side.